Good morning. um, yeah, we're just doing a little circle around the large pattern, and the point is we can use the big pattern. It's going to help us when we get to today's subjects here. So we start C here. We go C is 3 4 5. G, we're going to go around clockwise here. G is 6 7 root. D is 2 3 4. Now A is 5 6. Now we could, in C we could just continue 5 6 7 root 2 for that E, and then 3 4 5 back up to the C. But instead we're going, in the long pattern, we're going to cover all bases. When we get to A, we're going to go 5 6 and then do the long pattern and end up in 5 6, which is A anyway, and move on to C from there. So let's see how that works out. So let's just start with C again. C is 3 4 5 6 7 root G, 2 3 4 D, 5 6. Now the long pattern, 7 root 2 3 4 5 6. So we just went through the long pattern and we ended in 5 6. Now let's take it down. So we had 4 5 6 there. Now we're just going to continue to the E pattern. 7 root 2, 3 4 5 6 7 root, 2 3 4 5 6 7. Let's take it down another 2 octaves. 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root. Take it down another 2 octaves to A here. Okay, so we've got G is 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3. Now we can do this on my guitar. So we've got root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, 4 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7 root 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6 7. Again, we keep going around the circle. So the long pattern works for the circle. Okay, now this is some stuff about minors that we had a long discussion about the other day, and we don't have to repeat that. But it's important to know you can go around the circle, and that's the importance of circles, is that you can start them anywhere and advance in both directions. So the circles will go in string-shaped fifths. Once again, go in string-shaped fifths there. The C is 2 3 4. Okay, 2 3 4. C is 3 4 5. G is 6 7 root. D is 2 3 4. And A is 5 6. But if we want to go into the long pattern, it's 5 6 7 root 2 3 4 5 6, and then E is 7 root 2 in the key of C, and then back to C. Remember, C string shape is 3 4 5. It's not C. So let's move forward. I've talked a lot about identifying the minor triads and how we've got 1 1 4 5, but with C it's 1 1 3 5, and with E it's E A C, which is 1 6 root. So there it's like it's relative major. The rest of them are 1 4 5. 1 4 5 in shapes of 1 4 5. So that's why we see like G cross C cross D. Okay, that's 1, 4, 5. When we're playing the G box, we've got our pentatonic G. That's 1. The 4 is the C shape, and the 5 is the D shape. And you put them all together, and you get the diatonic. So that's something I discovered. And then you have their minors. The minors, E, A, C. That spells a minor. It doesn't spell 1, 4, 5. So those are the minor keys in that. And we had a long lesson on that last time. So let's advance. Let's advance here. Now we're looking at chart 279, long pattern subs for long minor string shape arpeggios. Notice I'm starting to use the word long. And notice we went around what we call the long pattern. Why do we call it the long pattern? Because these are the long string shapes, 4, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Normally the string shapes, for instance, G would be just 6, 7 root. But the long string shapes are like 5, 6, 7. See how long they are? They're 3 whole steps as opposed to a half step and a whole step, or a whole step as in E, or a whole step and a half step, 6, 7 root as in G, or A is just 5, 6. Okay, so that's why I have the caged ladder there to explain some things occasionally. Now, we got a lot to learn. We went through this the other day with the minor triads, and these are pre-warped. These little pattern helpers, they're pre-warped. It means I've already warped the D and the G over for string, the G string and B string and the E string, right? Between the G string and the B string. There's the third. So you'll see that. Here 3 goes to 6, that's root goes to 3, that's a third. Got that, root goes to 3. So it's pre-warped. The other patterns aren't pre-warped. Usually the patterns are not pre-warped. Sorry for dragging us all over the place here. These are not pre-warped. Everything root goes to 4. See, 4, 5, 6, but we're not going to play the 4 on that particular string shape adjusted string shape. So the same here, root goes to blank. That's, you're not going to find a 4 there. Here it is, major diatonic. So this is the pattern. This is the important drawing right here. Root goes to 4. This is all P4 tuning. Okay. Here's your little A is 5, 6. That's little a, and this is big A. So it still goes in a circle. And it's important to know that in the long and the short patterns, if we draw a string, say we draw a string here on this A shape, okay? If I move the pattern up, we'll go to its fourth. The fourth of A is D. If I move the pattern down, we go to its fifth. The fifth of A is E. So that worked out. Okay. So let's draw another one. We'll say on E, let's look at a long pattern. Okay, now I'm going to draw a line on the same A on the long patterns. Okay, if we move the pattern up, we're going to its fourth. If we move the pattern down, we're going to its fifth. Okay, we know that because it works. Now, diatonically, it's not going to work for the fifth in major 7th. Okay, so we're defining a tool here. Let me get a straighter line than I have here, and we'll adjust its thickness so it's not so thick. So this is a string. There's the 5/6 string shape, 5/6 of anything. If it's key of C, it'd be the G and the A note. In general, if we move the pattern up, we get its fourth. So the fourth, let's zoom in, but we can line it back up here. The fourth of A is D. Move the pattern up, we get the fourth. We're not going to use the diatonic scale, so we're not going to play a D scale with the F sharp and all that stuff, but it works for pentatonic and triads. And it should work, it works for the fourth with the major sevenths. Okay? So in general, we've got a tool here where we can move the pattern up and go to its fourth, and move the pattern down and go to its fifth. But you got to be careful. If you want to stay on the safe side, just moving the pattern up, you can take its pentatonic fourth. Move the pattern down, you can take its pentatonic fifth or its triads. And there's other things you'll find out and become comfortable with. So that's an important tool that we need to know today. Okay, so that's all I want to say about on this particular chart here. All right, so let's advance. This is with the minor triads, and of course you move them up and move them down, and you can demonstrate how you can get to the three minors. Yeah, one more thing. I don't want to demonstrate this now because it'll really seriously detract us, but it's important stuff. So if you're playing a sixth minor, like an A minor in the key of C, right? You're playing the key of C. You're playing this C thing. You're playing its minor, right? So the bottom string of this is E, F, G, which is 3, 4, 5. It's a C string shape. Let's look. Here we go, 3, 4, 5. So this is our string shape that we're on right there. Okay. Now, if we move it up, we're going to its fourth, which is an E string shape. Okay, so you're going. Okay, now the minor for the C is A minor, right? Why? Because you take C and you use the word caged is one way to do it, and you just go forward from a C to an A, you go to an A minor. And when you go to an E, you're going to go to a D minor. Okay, and when you put the pattern down, you go to the G shape. G, advance the G in the word caged, and you go to E minor. That's one way. There are other ways to do it. We could do it with string shapes, and that's kind of like proving it and deriving it and all that stuff. And